Hello everyone, and welcome back to Unfiltered English Room. I'm Maya, and I'm so happy you're here today. In this episode, we're going to spend the next hour learning practical English that you can actually use in your daily life. No complicated grammar lessons, no difficult vocabulary lists, and no pressure. Just real English for real situations. Whether you're commuting, relaxing at home, studying, or getting ready for work, this episode will help you become more comfortable and confident in English. So grab a cup of coffee, put on your headphones, and let's start improving your English naturally, one conversation at a time. Let's begin with one of the most common situations in daily life, starting your day. Imagine it's early morning. Your alarm goes off. You open your eyes and think, "I don't want to get up." That's a sentence many people can relate to. You might also say, "I'm still tired. I need 5 more minutes. I didn't sleep well last night." Notice how simple these sentences are, yet they are extremely useful. Let's practice a few more morning expressions. I woke up early today. I overslept. I'm feeling refreshed. I need some coffee. I'm running late. These are all expressions that people use every day. Now let's talk about breakfast. Imagine you're sitting at the table with your family. You might say, "What's for breakfast? This smells delicious. Could you pass me the bread? I'm not very hungry. I'll have some fruit." Again, nothing complicated. Simple English is powerful English. One mistake many learners make is trying to sound impressive. Instead of focusing on sounding impressive, focus on sounding natural. For example, instead of saying, "I am experiencing a considerable amount of fatigue," you can simply say, "I'm really tired." The second sentence sounds much more natural. Now let's imagine you're getting ready to leave the house. You look outside. What's the weather like? You might say, "It's sunny today." "It's cloudy." "It looks like it's going to rain." "It's really hot outside." "It's freezing." Weather is one of the easiest topics to talk about in English. In fact, people often use weather to start conversations. Imagine you're waiting at a bus stop. You could say, "Beautiful weather today, isn't it?" Or, "It's hotter than usual today." Simple comments like these help create conversations naturally. Now let's move to another common situation. Leaving the house. Maybe you're going to work. Maybe you're going to school. Maybe you're running errands. Before leaving, you might say, "See you later." "Have a great day." "Take care." "Drive safely." These expressions are used every day by millions of English speakers. Now imagine you're walking down the street and someone greets you. What do people usually say? Many learners know, "How are you?" But there are many other common greetings. For example, "How's it going?" "How are things?" "What's up?" "How have you been?" Let's look at simple responses. "I'm doing well." "Pretty good." "Can't complain." "Everything's going fine." "Not bad." One thing to remember is that these greetings are often friendly rather than deeply personal. When someone says, "How's it going?" they're usually starting a conversation, not asking for your entire life story. A short response is perfectly normal. Now let's talk about confidence. Many learners worry about making mistakes. But here's something interesting. Even native speakers make mistakes. Sometimes they forget words. Sometimes they mispronounce something. Sometimes they change their minds in the middle of a sentence. That's completely normal. Communication isn't about perfection, it's about connection. If people understand your message, you're already succeeding. Imagine you forget a word while speaking. What can you do? Instead of stopping completely, describe it. Let's say you forget the word umbrella. You could say, the thing you use when it rains. People will usually understand. This is a valuable communication skill. The goal is to keep the conversation moving. Now let's discuss another daily situation. Shopping. Whether you're buying groceries, clothes, or household items, shopping gives you many opportunities to use English. Imagine you walk into a store. You might hear, "Can I help you?" A simple response could be, "I'm just looking, thank you." This is a very common expression. If you need assistance, you can say, "Could you help me find this item? Do you have this in another size? Is this available in a different color? How much does this cost?" These are practical phrases that can be used almost anywhere. Now imagine you're paying. You might hear, "Would you like a receipt?" You can respond, "Yes, please," or "No, thank you." You might also hear, "Cash or card?" And you can simply answer, "Card, please," or "I'll pay with cash." Now let's think about another common situation. Waiting in line. Many people feel uncomfortable talking to strangers, but small talk can be surprisingly easy. Imagine you're standing in line at a coffee shop. You could say, "This place is always busy," or "The coffee here is really good," or "Looks like everyone's having the same idea this morning." Notice that these comments are simple observations. You don't need a complicated topic. Small talk often starts with something happening around you. Now let's discuss listening. Many learners focus only on speaking, but listening is equally important. In fact, becoming a better listener often helps you become a better speaker. Why? Because listening exposes you to natural sentence patterns. The more English you hear, the more natural English becomes. That's one reason podcasts are so powerful. You don't always have to study actively. Sometimes simply listening while walking, exercising, or cooking can improve your understanding. Think of English as something you live with rather than something you only study. The more exposure you have, the more comfortable you'll become. Now, I'd like you to imagine something. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. You're having a conversation in English. You're not translating every sentence in your head. You're not worrying about every grammar rule. You're simply communicating. That level of confidence doesn't happen overnight. It happens through consistent practice. Small improvements every day create big results over time. You don't need to learn 100 new words today. You don't need to master every grammar rule this week. You just need to keep showing up. A little progress every day is enough. And that's what we're doing right now. You're listening, you're learning, and you're improving without pressure, without stress. Just one conversation at a time. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. If you've stayed with me until now, thank you so much for spending this time improving your English with me. Remember, becoming fluent isn't about knowing every word or speaking perfectly. It's about communicating with confidence, expressing your thoughts clearly, and practicing consistently. The English you've learned today isn't just for exams or classrooms. It's English you can use in your daily life, with friends, family, colleagues, shopkeepers, customers, and people you meet every day. My advice is simple. Don't wait until you feel ready to speak English. Start speaking now, even if you make mistakes. Every conversation is a step forward. Before we say goodbye, I want you to choose just 3 new phrases from today's episode and use them sometime this week. Small actions lead to big improvements. If you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, make sure to follow Unfiltered English Room for more practical English lessons, listening practice, and confidence-building conversations. Thank you for listening. I'm Maya, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, take care, keep learning, and keep speaking English every day. Goodbye.